He says, come here, Deedat. I say, yes, sir. He says, you made rings around Mr. Beer. I hear. But you can't do that to me. He says, as for Ishmael was a bastard. Look, this is how the brainwash program. As for Ishmael was a bastard, he says.
In this short talk of Sheikh Ahmed Deedat, precisely during his lecture entitled Arab and Israel, Conflict or Consolation, Sheikh Deedat revealed one fact about the dispute between Jews and Muslims. And in this lecture of his, Sheikh Ahmed Deedat faced a Jew who openly insulted a Muslim prophet, Ismail alayhi salam, where this Jew received a strong response from Sheikh Deedat.
So while walking through one of the departments, clothing department, and the manager of the clothing department, Mr. Deedat, another Jew, he calls me. I was wearing my white dust coat, furniture trade. He says, come here, Deedat. I say, yes, sir. He says, you made rings around Mr. Beer. I hear. But you can't do that to me. He says, as for Ishmael was a bastard. Look, this is how the brainwash program. As for Ishmael was a bastard, he says. An Arab would have put a knife through him. But we couldn't afford to do that. So I said, Mr. Deedat, look, why don't you come home? We will sit down and we will talk. Bring your wife along and your friends will have meals together. I said, you can't do to me what you did to Mr. Beer. I said, who's talking about doing anything? You come home. Not interested. And every time I get on, Mr. Deedat, I said, my wife, I told her, and she is looking forward to receiving you and your wife. Come home. Every time I said, look, Mr. Deedat, come. We are waiting for you. So he was persuaded. He comes. Mr. and Mrs. Deedat, Mr. and Mrs. Peel, and Mr. Tonton, who was a backroom boy for the Full Gospel Church. 3 Christians and 2 Jews. They come along. Same treatment, feed them well, take them to the masjid, bring them back. I said, now we have teas and samosas. So they're having teas and samosas. So I said, maybe now the guy softened. The tea and samosa and our meals, they're very good. It might have done the job. So I'm thinking. So I said, Mr. Deedat, you remember you told me in the shop that Ishmael was a bastard. He said, of course. I said, you still stand for that? He said, of course. I thought the samosas had done the job, but it hadn't. So I said, all right, Mr. Deedat, tell me now, according to the religion of your religion, Judaism, which is better for a man to marry his own sister and beget child by her, or marry a bondwoman, a slave woman, a negress, and beget child by such a woman? He said, no, the negress is preferable. According to the religion of Judaism, instead of having your own sister as a wife, you rather have a slave woman, a negress, a bondwoman, because that is what they insinuate, that Hajara, who was actually a princess of Egypt. But this rubbish, they say that she was a slave woman. I said, all right, even a slave woman. Which is better as a wife, your sister or a slave woman, according to your religion? He said, no, the slave woman is preferable. I said, very good. I said, you see, according to the laws of eugenics, inbreeding, which is better for you to have your own sister as a wife, or you have a slave woman, a bondwoman, a negress? He said, no, the negress is preferable. I said, according to your common sense, which is preferable, your own sister or this negress? He said, no, the negress is preferable. This is very good. No, the answers are right, correct. I said, you see, Mr. Deedat, when Abraham and Sarah, husband and wife, when they went to Egypt, he says, and Abimelech, I'm quoting from Genesis chapter 20, verse 12. You can check it up. And Abimelech, the king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. See, he goes there, and this Sarah was a beautiful Jewess, Hebrew woman, beautiful thing. So this king, he's enamored, he wants her. And there is what is called the prerogative of kings. In the olden days, you see the king has a right to take anybody's wife or mother or daughter, anything he wants. I want that woman. You can't say no, otherwise it can kill you. So he's asking Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, according to the Bible, say, this beautiful woman, what is she to you? So Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, according to the Bible, he spoke a lie. He said, she's my sister. So she's your sister, well, send her in to the haram. So he had to send her in. And things went wrong that night, and the fellow couldn't come right with Sarah. We don't know what happened. But next morning, he's frustrated and he's calling Ibrahim, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, and asking him, say, look man, because of this woman I had a sleepless night. Tell me, what is your connection with her? So he said, she's my wife. He said, why did you lie to me? Why didn't you tell me? I wouldn't have done a thing like that. And Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam says, according to Genesis chapter 20 verse 12, he said, and yet indeed, means without doubt, she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. It's different mother, but it's the father's seed. And she became my wife. So she is Abraham's sister, seed coming from the same father. And you said, according to Judaism, according to eugenics, according to common sense, that the negress was preferable. And you say Ishmael is a bastard because he's a child of Hagar, through Hagar, a slave woman. So I said, if Ishmael is a bastard, then Isaac is a greater bastard according to your standards. Look, you have a right to speak like that. We dare not speak about the prophets of God. Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam, he was a prophet of God. Hazrat Ishaq alayhi salam was a prophet of God. But now you're arguing with the sick mentality. You got to get rid of the sickness. You got to give it to him with a sledgehammer. When it needs a sledgehammer, nothing else will work. If you say my man, my hero is what you say, then yours is worse. Any standard. So I'm telling the Jews, these young men, I says, what is the real difference between us? Nothing, really nothing. We are one people, wallah, and we are one people. With the Christians, we have a lot of problems. He believes in so many things. At every step now we are having a confrontation with the Christian, not with the Jew. Our only problem with the Jew is political. We are not fighting the Jew because we say he's a Jew. Kill him because he's a Jew. No. We say, look, you stole my land. Give me back my land. This is the fight. It's about land. It's not about religion, not about race. Kill the Jew because he's a race, different race. No. The Arab never thought like that. They said, look, this is my land. Give my land back to me. It's a political war. With the Christian, it's ideological, theological. So at every step we have a confrontation with the Christian, not with the Jew. Our only confrontation is land. So I says, this problem is easy of solution. Solve it easy. And you seem like a madcap. When you say, look, what? The best brains in the world can't solve it, and you say easy? I said, it's easy. I say it's very easy to solve. Allah says so. وَآمِنُوا بِمَا أَنزَلْتُ مُصَدِّقًا لِمَا مَعَكُمْ وَلَا تَكُونُوا أَوَّلَ كَافِرٍ بِهِ وَلَا تَشْتَرُوا بِآيَاتِي ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا وَإِيَّايَ فَاتَّقُونِ. Believe in me. Believe in me. If you وَإِيَّايَ فَارْحَبُونَ, and fear me and me alone. In other words, do right. Fearing Allah means you do what Allah tells you to do. Do justice, and you have nothing to fear. Be just. So I said, look, we are one people. In our moral law, we are one. In our concept of the divinity, we are one. In our ceremonial law, we are the closest. We are one people, coming from Father Abraham, Ismail and Ishaq and his children. And we have now inherited the religion through Hazrat Ismail, through our Nabi Karim. So mentally we are also become Semites. Though we may be in Aryans at home, my people, we are Aryans. But mentally I'm a Semite. I'm like the Arab. We Muslims are all one, thinking alike. When a Muslim gets hurt in the Middle East, it's hurting us all. What for? We are not Arabs. But no, it hurts us because they are my people. They are my brothers. Anything happens to a Muslim in China, it hurts us. They are my brothers. It's hurting us. In India, same thing. My brothers, it's hurting us. Racial barriers are gone. So I said, we must become one people. There's really no difference. The only difference is the label. You got a wrong label on. See? The label, change the label. You say you are a Jew. Yes, become Muslim, because we are believing in the same things. I says, the Arab world is sick The world is sick, the Arab world. It's a sick body. Then it needs a new heart. And I say, you are that new heart. But we know from Chris Barnard's experience here in the Khrushchev that when they put a new heart into an old body, the body is fighting against the heart because it knows the way Allah Bari Ta'ala has made it, that this is the foreign thing in the body, different cellular construction. So the body starts fighting the heart. If the heart dies, the body dies. But the body doesn't know. It wants to kill the heart because this is a foreign element. There's a fight going on. So they drug the person. So the fight is less. Allow the body to get acclimatized to that new heart. This is the system that they work on. The body of the Arab world is sick. It needs a new heart, and you are that new heart. Without them there now, all these improvements that are taking place wouldn't take place at all. They're still smoking that hookah for the next 1,000 years and passing their time. It's the Jew that's waking them up. Without the Jew, we would have been sleeping still. The Arab world needs it. But the body is going to fight, rebel, because this cellular construction of the heart is different from that of the body. This is how it works. So I said, now look, your cellular construction of your heart, the heart there in the Middle East, is Jew. The body cellular construction is Muslim. So you change this cellular construction to Muslim and the heart will accept. The body will accept. Simple as that. And there is no copyright on the label. Have you got a copyright? That I'm a Muslim, nobody else must say he's a Muslim because he's a Chinese, he's an Eskimo, he can't say he's a Muslim. Have you got a copyright? No, so we have no copyright. You can use it. So I said, look, it's so easy as that. In other words, become Muslims. We are one people, we think alike, become Muslims. Problem is solved. So at question time, the young men Jews, I enjoy talking to them. Wallah, I enjoy. The Jewish audiences I enjoy most. They give you a good fight. And I like a good fight. But they are fair. The student, he is coming out head on. But when he's defeated, he acknowledges defeat. That's the greatness. So he must acknowledge that he's beaten. So at question time, one fellow stands up. These are all Muslim medical students. They said, why don't you change your label? I said, change your label to solve the problem. I says, you have beaten my brother once. You've beaten them twice. You've beaten them thrice. And I said, you can beat them 30 times. But you haven't solved the problem. You'll never be able to solve the problem. Because at the moment is a problem of technology. Technologically, you are superior to my brethren. Physically, the Arab soldier is a better specimen of manhood than the average Jew. He's a better man, physically. But he's getting beaten. Because technologically, that guy has got better education. The armaments. They can use better armaments. They got better armaments, better supplies. With the others, the Russia won't supply us, but America is giving them to the Jews. The most sophisticated weapons of attack and defense. That Russia, stealing all our money, he's only giving you defensive weapons. You just sit back and you just protect yourself, and there too you're getting hiding. So I said, look, it's a battle of technology. And technology is not a closed shop. A time will come when the Arab also will catch up with you. And a time will come when the American will let you down. When that happens, I say, it's done for you. Before that happens, why don't you come to terms with your brother and your cousins? And the guy will let you down. During that 1967 war, 67, or the 73 war, 73 war, when the Arabs closed the pipelines. So there was newspaper items in America. He says, save fuel, burn Nixon. Burn Nixon. The guy was president. So burn him, save fuels, burn that fellow. This American nation, look, I says, they let the Vietnamese down. They lost 50,000 men, Americans, that died in Vietnam. But eventually they threw in the towel. Look, the same fellow now, what he did now. In Beirut, he was there with his navy there, and he's shooting 35 miles away, hitting at those people in the mountains, the Muslims. This American fellow, big bully, shooting from 35 miles, his cannons. Nobody can come anywhere near to shoot at his boat. 35 miles away he's shooting. And he's barricaded himself, militarized himself. One Muslim did the job, one man. That one man did the job. He chased the whole American Navy, one man. Whole of the British force, whole of the French force, whole of the Italian force. One man did the job. Do you know that? Not the whole 100 million Arabs. One man did it. In a truck with dynamite, he went and smashed into the Americans. 260, he killed one hit. And the Americans couldn't stomach that. They can hit you, yes, but they can't get hurt. They mustn't get hurt. So the Americans started crying, saying, "Oh, son, bring them back, bring them back." Shh. So the Americans went, the Navy went, his Marines went, the French went, the British went, the Italian went. Who did it? One man did it. That spirit is required. If you are prepared to pay for what you want, there is nothing on earth which you can't get. This is the law of Allah. You give what you are supposed to pay for what you want, and you can get it. One man can chase a whole. This atom bomb is nothing. What is atom bomb against the mind of man? Where is the atom bomb? Where is the atomic plants? Well, you can destroy it. They're barricading the White House now in Washington. Do you know that? Is this mentality they're barricading against? Is, look, shh, these guys are too dangerous now. They know now how to hit. So I said, look, let's come to terms. You beat my brothers 3 times. You beat them 30 times, but you haven't solved the problem. They can afford to keep on coming back 100 times. But if you lose once, I say it's done for you. Only once. You have to lose only once. And you are wiped out for good. Why wait for that? Why don't you come to terms? Shh, change your label. Change your label. So this questioner says, why don't you change your label? I said, you know, I'm the young man. I like that, you see. He's coming for a fight. So I said, look, I don't mind. I don't mind changing my label. But I said, when I want to change my label, you're going to put hurdles in my way. You will tell me what to do. Like you did to that Afrikaner. He wanted to marry a Jewish girl, an Afrikaner. So they said, you must learn Hebrew. So he learned Hebrew. And you must learn all the laws of the Talmud and the Mishnah and the Torah. Shh, he mastered all that. Then he says in the Sunday Times, there was an article with this picture, he said, and at the age of 23, I was painfully circumcised to become a Jew. Of course, they don't have to do it to us. We are already circumcised. But now, so I said, but that guy is still a 3rd grade Jew. In your mind, he's still a 3rd grade Jew. Let's say I succeed. First thing, you don't want a black man. The white man, willy-nilly, because your daughter is running away, you want to convert him. All right. But me, you don't want really. You don't want me. But suppose I succeed in going through all the hurdles and you convert me to become a Jew. I said, what have you achieved? I said, how many are you in the world today? So somebody said, we are about 12 million then. They are about 15 million now. 12 million. I said, all right. So if we become 12 million in one, me also become a Jew. It's 12 million in one. But I said, if you change your label, we are 700 million then. We are 1,000 million now. I said, we are 700 million. I said, we become 700 million in one. Can't you see the difference? I said, you're a businessman. You as a businessman, you know that if you have a product for which you have a market of 12 million pounds of 5 Roses tea, for example. You change the label and you get 700 million people to buy. You are a bloody fool, I said, if you don't change your label. No. And there's no copyright on the label. No copyright. Put it on, man. You get 700 million customers for your product. You're a fool if you don't change your label.